Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Bucked Up Podcast. If you don't mind hitting the like, subscribe button, we have new episodes coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you guys so much for checking it out.
It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
God.
Billy June was on the podcast, and he was saying that he, kind of forced Nems to do comedy.
Yeah,
Nems was like, I want to do comedy sometime. So then Billy June put him on a flyer and, put it out, and Nems was like, I didn't agree to this. What the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
And he, left Billy June, this voicemail, what? That's
Gorilla
even
Nems.
Yeah.
Fuck your life.
Having him actually angry leave a voicemail,
Yo,
I'd be
yeah, he is a
shitting
monster
bricks,
of a
yeah.
man, bro.
Yeah.
You can already, he's kind of like you where you don't realize how big he is in person until you see them, except he already looks big in person. You know what I'm
real,
saying?
yeah.
Or on screen, rather.
So
So
I
you
was
see
like,
him,
Gorilla Nems, what? And then I see
Yeah.
him, and I'm like, oh, I get why he's Gorilla Nems.
Again, bro, I've been watching him. I've been listening to him and watching him forever. He did a grind time battle back in the day.
Are you big into battle rap and shit?
Yeah, heavy.
Okay, I don't know anything about battle rap.
It's definitely some super nerdcore weird. I appreciate the bars and the art of it and the presentation but it's much like stand up where you're driving to the middle of nowhere for no money to perform for. You know what I mean? You got to go through the trenches to get nice at it.
And then Nems is the top. That's who you can get out. What you can get. Who?
Yeah, well, that wasn't even his avenue. What's crazy is what blew him up was just TikTok videos and Instagram reels of him just talking shit to people on the street.
Yeah, don't ever disrespect me.
Yeah, don't ever disrespect me with your, whatever looking ass. Yeah.
But he was doing the battle rap. Are there any other famous battle rappers that made it out of battle rap?
Eminem.
I don't like Eminem that much.
You don't like him at all?
No, I'm not. I hate to. I don't really like Eminem. I'm not a angsty white guy.
How can
You don't
not
have to be to appreciate
it?
how fire he was back in the day. I'm saying Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah, no,
Slim
I
Shady
do
LP.
I like some of that
My
shit.
dad's
but
gone crazy.
I don't know. He's just not my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
very
Mine either, for sure.
But I definitely
he's dope.
dude. He's the reason that a lot of people know who Griselda is.
Yeah.
On some real shit. So
He's the reason that a lot of white people like rap, Samuel.
I understand that. I understand that.
I mean,
I of course respect the history, but it's the same thing where I also like to be a dick sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun to say.
You're a
I
contrarian.
remember I made a guy cry because I fought him so much, and I was like, George Carlin isn't a comedian. He just writes monologues. And I just wanted to be a dick, and this guy got so upset.
he's just a philosopher. He's an orator.
And I do like George Carlin, but I'm just not the biggest fan, so it's more fun to be like, fuck him.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
But then, as I get more in the public eye, when someone's like, fuck Sam Buck, I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be shitting on these
You're
people.
like, how dare they?
Why would you? And it's so funny because in person, if someone says some shit,
Yeah.
I'll tell them right off to their face. But online,
yeah.
so different. It's strangers are
So you
weird.
get more offended if somebody says it through a comment than if they do to your face?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna comment.
But it requires so much more audacity to say something in your eyes,
That's what I
bro.
mean. If you have that, then I'll match your level. I don't know who you are as a person when you write something online.
You think it's
you
because you're willing to match that you're not as offended?
Yeah, I think that probably is. Because I can stand up for myself right there online. Anything you write in retaliation to someone online always looks too defensive.
Yeah. If you respond, if you addressed it at all,
At
you look
all,
like a bitch.
you look like a bitch.
Yeah.
I do.
You're like, hey man, listen, I work very hard at this craft and you can't even conceive of the hours I put in.
Yeah, for real. This is the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever. So I tweeted the other, a couple weeks ago. It's so funny. I'm even addressing this on the podcast. But I tweeted, fucking a woman who doesn't speak your language is the closest you can get to bestiality. Just a stupid thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this guy then posted in all the Griselda pages, you really want, this guy's a racist. He says all ethnic people are beasts. And I'm like, I wanted to comment, white people don't speak English. There's white people who don't speak English, but I just, any retaliation's just dumb. Like,
Yeah, you're
it's
like,
just-
first of all, I fuck animals. Second of all, there are white people that speak other languages.
Yeah, like
bro.
it's so ignorant
Like,
to
what are
them.
you
Yeah,
talking
it's so
about?
stupid. But like that offends me. Like that offends me more than someone like saying some dumb shit to my face because I'll like tell them
Yeah.
off right there, you know. But I can't. I'm not gonna come back at anyone online. Fuck them.
Yeah. You just DM them like, I would super appreciate it.
If you
wouldn't
could please.
stop using all this inflammatory language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really say anything.
No,
I
but-
think it's slick if you just like, if you do some like condescend, if what they say is like egregiously hater shit,
Yeah.
maybe just respond with a little kissy face emoji.
I'd put the
You know what I
salt
mean? Like,
emoji now.
Yeah,
if someone
yeah,
says
it's a
hater
little
shit, I'll just
salty.
do the salt emoji.
Yeah, I
because
don't-
it's simple and it's fun.
Yeah,
Like
I don't mind that. I
Yeah.
think that's acceptable. But otherwise, I think just don't even respond.
it's so stupid, and it's like, duh, I'm gonna get hate. Who for what I'm
sure.
doing, looking like
Yeah,
duh.
yeah.
I need to just let that
That's a
shit.
foregone
like-
conclusion.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
and I'm a comedian. Like I've had some crazy shit said to me while I'm on stage. You probably have
yo,
too. Like
yeah. Well, so, bro, I came up doing shows in Atlantic City all the time. Like I did for years. I had a residency in Atlantic City at this spot, AC Jokes, and you, especially through the winter, like yo, the type of human being that elects to go to Atlantic City in January.
I dated a girl whose dad was a professional gambler, so he'd get us free rooms in Atlantic City during the
Oh my
winter.
God.
So that's just where I spend most of my relationship.
Bro, it's a depression session.
It really is. Just the people in the Wally people and the fucking
Bro,
electric.
it's a Dostoevsky novel. It doesn't even. It is so.
You had a residency there.
It is so dark, but it made me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me a killer,
Kill.
particularly with crowd work, because I mean, there's like a family of 4 from the Bronx and then like 7 drunk dudes from Ohio just sitting next to each other and no one else, and you're in a theater-sized room. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
you have to talk to them.
How much time are
and
you
talk
doing?
shit. 20 minutes at least. They used to have 4 rooms, bro. So I would do 20 at the nightclub and then hop over to this other little nightclub and do like a 10-minute guest spot, bounce over to Caesars and do 20 minutes, and then go to Bally's and do 20 minutes.
God
So
damn.
4 spots in a night. It's just mad time, bro.
Yeah, you're
what
getting
I
in your
mean? Just-
10,000 hours
Yeah,
quick.
just so much time.
That makes sense when like trust me, the idea for your album sounds dope, like the voice memos of like crowd work.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, I get it. If that's your come up, like that's definitely your lane for
Oh,
like an album.
For sure.
Like
Plus,
that's
it's a perfect opportunity to do it because you're not even going to necessarily refine material and make it sharper when they don't have ears for it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if a joke is already pretty slick and you know that they're too old for. I mean, you should always give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes people will dumb down their set because they're like, "Oh, these people don't know," and then, you know, some dude from the Midwest is like, "I love nihilism. Like, I'm fascinated by this," you know, and you're like, "Fuck, bro! Like, I should have trusted that Cletus actually knew what time it was, bro." Like,
it can go the opposite way though. Like I'll do, cause like I will talk about my life, which is a lot of like hanging in rap situations. So like I'll tell stories about like being in the projects in the Bronx or like being at a gang initiation. And
For
if it's like
sure.
an older white crowd, I hope that they're like, he's here. The story's gonna end up okay. But they always get so
they
scared because
clam up, man.
they're like, that's my kid's stupid like that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. If it's not relatable or accessible, it's sometimes a lot more valuable to just talk to them and try and create silly shit out of nothing, because then you're also developing that muscle. And
Yeah.
what other opportunity do you have to develop that muscle? If you're in New York, you're doing 8 to 12 minutes if you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like on a regular basis, sometimes less time than that. You're just running 5-minute sets. You got to get your punchlines off. You can't just screw around with crowd work. But I was on stage for that long, bro. It was just like, why not? Just get confident saying something outlandishly stupid and insane right into somebody's eyes.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And just keep it pushing.
You have any like because I can remember some of my craziest like audience members. When you were in Atlantic City, were there any like
Oh yeah, bro.
memorable
I had
wild ones?
Yeah, bro. I had a dude run up and try and swing on me, which was crazy.
For what?
And security grabbed him. He thought, I mean, I told him to shut the fuck up, for sure. basically he was just blurting stuff out, and I made it funny like 3 times, and then the 4th time he did it, I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. And I said it with a little on it, you know? And he didn't take kindly to that. And he like pulled up real quick. But it was funny because the Bally's room, it was the strangest stage ever. It was this huge stage, right? You had all this space, and then there was a bar in front of the stage. So it was almost like an orchestra pit. It was like, like the crowd was mad far from you. So you'd really have to be like on the edge of the stage.
And people are ordering drinks like in front of you?
Yeah, and then sometimes, they're like making drinks and people walking back and forth.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's super weird. But so he like tried to rush the stage and like didn't really know how to get up there. You know what I mean? Like
he just ends up ordering a drink.
Yeah.
He's all right, Jack and Coke. I'll go back to my seat.
Exactly. No, and then security just pulled up, was like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? Just grabbed him or whatever. In the Village, I had a girl, I think at Greenwich Village Comedy Club, I had a girl take off her shoe and hold it up like she was going to throw it at my face. Like even like faint a little bit, you know what I mean? Like she kind of twitched like she was about to like, whip it at me. I was like, what are you doing, man?
You're going to George Bush that shit.
That's the exact reference I made, bro. Yeah, I was like, I'm not George Bush, ma'am.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I have a joke that it's the joke I told Benny. It's my only one-liner that MILFs are like the used cars of women. So what if they have a few dents, they fit a family inside of them? It's just stupid,
That's
you know?
fire.
It's just a stupid one-liner because I don't really, I tell stories. So I tell that,
like that.
and I tell that on a stage once, and this is probably the most angry and odd. MILFs,
A MILF got heated?
They're not really MILFs. They're moms. Like a MILF is a mom I wanna like to fuck. Like these are not women I wanna fuck.
They're
they get
moms that fuck.
so upset. Like I don't know. I write that joke. It's endearing in the end. Like it's like, so what if they have like?
Well,
but
also,
they
it's
get
just,
so
silly, bro. You're telling
it's
jokes.
dumb as fuck. But I've had like MILFs fucking like stand up, be like fuck you, like crazy.
Yeah, I've had people get super tight. What's crazy is I have a joke where I talk about, I compare, whenever I talk about cats, I sound like an old racist. I sound like a racist dude, right? And I ran that joke in the Bronx, all black crowd, old black lady like falling out of her chair, dying, laughing. And she comes up to me and she's like, oh, baby, you so funny. She kissed me on both cheeks, gave me a big hug. And then I ran the same joke in Williamsburg. And a white girl's like, that is racism.
Oh, God.
You are racist. Like, just like shouting at me in the middle of my set. And the joke was doing well, too, but then everybody else got uncomfortable. You know, because it's like an indictment on the remainder of the audience. Now they're like, oh, no, am I racist? Like, what do I do here?
And that's another, you have to just roast her because you can't be like, you can never be like, I'm not racist.
Well, so I roast her, but then it derails it and the rhythm of the shit is off. And you try and run the rest of it, and then it's choppy, so I just go into something else. But I'm like, damn, you just burned one of my favorite jokes.
You never do, you've never done comedy in Boston?
Oh, I have.
It's like pretty PC. Like I've gotten talked to for saying jokes that like aren't even bad. Like Boston's a super PC scene, which is
ironic because they're a astonishingly racist city.
Yeah, you would never expect. I got talked to for saying, and I might have said this on the podcast before, but a set was going rough. And I was like, damn, this set's rougher than fat bitches' feet. And like, I got talked to after, like, you can't call women bitches. And I'm like,
and you're like, I'm a fat bitch.
Yeah, legit. Like, what are you talking? You're a fat bitch. We're both fat bitches. Like, you get offended, you're a fat bitch. Yeah. But like, no, Boston's like super crazy.
Really?
Like, Really? Like some jokes, like I'll have jokes kill, and then in Boston, it's just like, people get so intense. It's a college city, though.
Yeah. So people are super.
You came up in New York, you said.
Well, so yeah, I did like the first 6 months in Rhode Island, and it was definitely like.
Well, you did your first 6 months in Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Is that how you met Jimmy James?
No, not even, bro. He wasn't even doing comedy at the time.
That's crazy.
No, I just know his jiu-jitsu instructor.
In Rhode Island?
Yeah. Our boy Aaron.
That's so funny.
Yeah, man. It was not. It doesn't give you realistic expectations, and it's funny because mad at my people were like, "Bro, don't you think you should you're doing really well? You're getting all these gigs here. Like, shouldn't you just stay and grow here?" And then I was like, "Nah, bro. I want to get smacked up and be surrounded by murderers. It just forces you to elevate your game. You know, it's like if you're an athlete and you go train with the best team in the world, you're going to get exponentially better than if you train with like community college players.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. And that is the difference scale wise. Like it really is. I remember like popping into my first mic ever in New York and seeing this kid rip and being like, oh, that was actually Rollo Boykins. And I was like, oh, that was so dope. And I went to go, I was like, yo, man, you want to stick around and watch my, and he was like, nah, I got another mic. Like, and just pieced out. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, it was such a, so educational as far as just what the perspective is here and what the kind of like the hustle is like, you know? Because in Rhode Island, you have nothing else to do, bro.
Yeah.
You're just going to hang around and watch everyone set.
And I hope people listening don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I think this is important to be said, is like, yes, it's good to like start there, but I feel like, yeah, nothing's going to happen if you just stick there. But some people are there, and this can be any small town, there for like a hangout. Like they just want friends.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to leave your home.
You're like, I don't want anyone to be offended. You're all fucking losers.
You're fucking idiot.
The whole scene.
No, but you have like if you have to leave, the only time the moment I realized, oh, I'm something more, is when I got love in other cities.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's, and I don't think a lot of people think, no, I'm gonna stay in my city till I'm the top of my city, and that's not
listen,
how
man,
it works.
If like you're a hobbyist, that's cool, bro. Do that. If you're content with just like getting as good as you can with limited stage time, and you know, just kind of a smaller circle of dudes and less exposure to dope comedy, like it's fine. I know that's kind of mean, but it's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
You can get on stage 5 times in an afternoon before you even start to go do shows for the night here. You can't get on 5 times in a week in Rhode Island, bro. Like maybe if you're lucky and you travel to Massachusetts and Boston and bounce back and forth, you can. But otherwise, nah, no shot.
And then you can do shows like, someone was writing to me and they were like, don't do shit that's under you anymore. And I'm not, but I think it's good to like, not that this is under you, but you go into Atlantic City and doing 20 minutes is better, at 5 different clubs is like better than anything, no matter how many people are in the audience. You're just like, you're getting that
100%.
stage time.
Yeah,
like,
repetition is primary.
yeah.
You know, like you got to just put in the work. Why are everyone's, well, particularly in rap, like why are your albums so much better later on? Because like your whole rhyme structure and your bars are more advanced. You know what I mean? You found your style and developed it because you've just rapped that much more. It's the same thing. You spend that much more time with a mic in your hand on stage.
Yeah.
You just get more comfortable, bro.
And listening to people like, shit, like when I was 16 and 17 and I got in a hockey accident, I had to lay in a dark room, listen to podcasts and stand up. That's how I got into it. I had to lay in a dark room for a month. But like I would hear comedians talk about, that's all you have to do. Like the only rule is like work harder, like in stand up,
Yeah.
like get up on stage, do more, like work harder.
Yeah, and be naturally funny.
And be naturally
Which
funny.
you know, you can't really help it. So
That
to a degree, it's kind of you have it or you don't.
But it's like rap. It's like, yeah.
But there's mad people who just do it and 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 do it.
And eventually they can trick the vast majority of people at a show. You know what I mean? Like they just look so comfy and confident on stage and they have the comedy cadence of things and they know how to make it sound like they're setting up a joke. And people just laugh at that shit. People eat it up because it's like they're being sold comedy, you know? So if you
Yeah.
do that enough, you can get to a level of competency where you can fool a lot, if not most people. However, like you got to be dope, man. Like you got to be funny.
You also have to dedicate your shit to it. That's what the reason I was saying that. And I it's funny, I don't talk to a lot of comedians about comedy, but this is what made me start. So I hope people listening, like it inspires them, is like I also had to dedicate. That's why I didn't start heavy until like later. At 16 I knew. Like I knew. But I didn't start heavy going every night till I was 21 because I was
How
like
old are you?
24.
Okay, but
And I just had my 6-year anniversary doing comedy for the first time. Went out to the comedy store, used a fake ID,
Oh,
and
that's
got
fine.
on.
Yeah, I
like,
saw that post, I think. Yeah.
But I was like, I have to dedicate my whole life to it. Like, and I had to live a little bit before because I think some people are like wade in the water, but it has to be. You have to make a choice that it's your life.
Yeah, for sure. And that requires like you really, really, really loving this shit, but also being like cognizant of how painful it is. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
in a lot of ways it's like learning how to fight. Like if you want to get really dope, you're gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. There's no way around it. Like you're gonna get punched in the face. Like that's stand up. Like you're gonna get kicked in the dick. Like
I love
lot,
it
bro.
because, like,
It's very humbling.
yeah. And that's the podcast thing is, I like it. And I took it like a bigger break from stand up than I wanted. I was doing it weekly, but I wasn't doing it crazy because, like, the podcast took off and I was traveling. And then I was like, how do I balance that shit? But then I realized that stand up is the thing I love and I can balance it. Like, you can balance it because, shit, I'm so high that I forgot the point of that whole fucking story.
You just gotta be balanced, man.
No, but
Yin and yang, brother.
this is three podcasts of me smoking straight. No, but you do.
No, you make time for the things that you want. You know, you prioritize the shit regardless. But
stand up. Oh, I got my point.
Oh, he found it.
I finally found
Oh,
it.
he found
But
it.
stand up humbles me, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that no matter what no matter who I hang out with, no matter what happens, like I can go and bomb, like
Yeah.
at a mic or at a show, and like I kind of like I love that feeling. That's why I'm like I need to put more time back into. I need to like.
bro, comedy gods got me the other day.
Yeah.
They got me, man. It was crazy as I didn't even verbalize it. But I literally just had the thought, like on some arrogant shit where I was just like, damn, bro, you've been murdering this week. Like you've just been crushing everything. And it's true, like probably 10 spots in a row were just felt very, very strong. The last one I did before I dipped New York was like I got mad applause breaks. It was a sold out crowd. It just felt great. I was like, I was just like, we're good, bro. And I just thought it. I didn't even say it to one of my boys.
Yeah.
I didn't anything. And the comedy gods were like, oh no, bro. Let's just remind you what this is real quick. And I went and just ate a healthy cauldron full of dick. Like, just double toilet trouble, bro. Like just woo, in front of like 50 people too. You know, not even a small little tight crowd. Like, no, I bombed in front of a sizable portion of humans. And it was good.
It
was
feels good.
delightfully humbling. No, it doesn't feel good. It feels
does.
terrible, but that's why it's good. You
No,
know?
it does feel good to get humbled. Because when you
Yeah.
feel on top of the world, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So when the other shoe drops, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, there it is.
But you get your like you fight you met Jimmy James through the rest jiu-jitsu instructor. Like I feel like I want to get into fighting because I feel like that humbles you too. Like
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
getting your fucking like I want to like that's something I feel like you have to learn how to do.
I think just the fundamentals of it, it's very important. Yeah. Just to be able to have like, but again, it's like having just a baseline level of competency in anything. You still got to work really hard to get there, you know? Like
Yeah.
you can't just once you see what the scale is. Again, like you can be a beast in a small little scene somewhere. You know, and then you come here and you're like, oh, I'm dog shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought I had jokes, bro. I thought I had real jokes. And I was like, oh, my God, you know, I have like a handful of impressions.
How long have you been doing
I don't
it?
have anything. 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
But,
made you start the first time?
I started on Wickenden Street in Fox Point in Providence, man. East side of Providence.
Like what made you get up there the first time?
I'm competitive, bro. I'm just mad competitive, for real. Like, I saw my boy was going up, and I went to go watch him, and he was getting laughs, and I was like, oh, I could do that shit, bro. I was like, I can fucking, I think I'm funny. You know, like.
Does he still do it?
Yeah, he's a beast. Ben Smith, you probably know him.
Oh, I do. Yeah, he lives down in Austin now,
Yeah,
right?
he just moved to L.A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
do
boy.
know him. Okay.
That's my boy. Yeah,
I know him
he's-
through Brad Pierce.
Brad Pierce. Yeah, Brad Pierce. What a wonderful
You
guy.
know his accent. Like, he won strongest accent. I'll have people, like, I have a friend, you know Mason Smith?
No.
He's from the South, and he has a super thick Southern accent. And when he listened to the Brad Pierce episode, he's like, I could only listen to 10 minutes. I couldn't understand his accent. He literally couldn't understand
Brad
Brad.
Pierce. He's like, my grandma. Yeah, he's got such a strong accent, man. Cranston or Warwick. Is it Warwick?
Warwick, yeah.
Warwick, Rhode Island.
You ever done hallucinogens?
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah, a whole bunch, bro.
DMT?
For sure. Yeah, I smoked DMT.
You break through?
Yeah, last time I smoked it, it was bad news bears, bro.
Really? What happened?
Son. Yo, last time I smoked DMT was in Atlantic City. So that's,
Yeah,
a
that's
place
all. You're
where
already
there's-
losing.
yeah,
you're already losing
just
at that
surrounded
point.
by like
yeah.
palpable sadness. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just like it's not good energy, and yeah, my homie has a Chihuahua. I think she's a little Chihuahua Pomeranian mix or something. But Penny, this little dog, and yo, I took the rip, and suddenly Penny just started like crying. She started like.
That's a good dog sound. Is there a
And I
dog?
was like, I just started barking, bro. Like, because I'm like straight traveling through another dimension, and there's just a creature in pain. And
Why would you do it with the dog in
like,
the room in the
no,
first
it wasn't.
place?
The door was closed, but she was outside, and I could just hear her in the hallway, like.
Also, why are you so good at dog sounds?
But yo, it was. I could just feel her pain. I was like, make it stop. No more
No.
pain, Penny.
And now you're like, I'm done with that.
Yo, no, so I opened the door and I went and got her, and then like as I came down, I was like, everything's fine, Penny. And just pet her and chilled out. But I think that's the last time I smoked DMT. And it was
That does not sound like a good
but in
time.
that same room, I had a lovely experience, bro. Like months earlier, I had a great one where like I saw like a totem pole and there were faces like swirling around the pole. It was cool, man. Like, I don't know, yeah, the time before that was wonderful. So I don't know.
I've never the dog freaking out.
It
And
was
did you do it out
intense,
of like a
bro.
pipe or do you do it from a pen?
No pipe.
It looks like you have to like freebase that shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. You gotta smoke it with a bowl with a screen in it.
Yeah, I've done it.
Because it'll suck it through if it's just like a glass bowl
yeah,
with a
yeah.
hole in it or whatever.
Nah, even in a dog in the apartment, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Dude, it's making my fucking tummy hurt right now.
Just thinking about
I'm
it,
thinking
you
about
know?
how much pain I felt when I
Oh
was, you know
no,
what I mean?
you
Like,
needed that though. That
oh,
was.
man.
You haven't done it
I'm-
since.
I'm sure it was important.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it taught me something about pain.
I like mushrooms.
Sadness.
I've never done. I have done acid once, but it was such a bad experience that
for real?
like yeah.
See, I find acid to be like a little more like cerebral, more of like a dome high, and mushrooms to be more like body high and kind of goofy.
Yeah. No, acid. Well, I've said this story, but when I was peeking on acid for the first time, a kid tried to rob me.
Oh no!
And so I was just like, that just kind of ruined it for me. And mushrooms, I just get super anxious. I just get in my head normally. So like, I take mushrooms a lot, but like
You microdose?
I did last night, but no, I've taken large amounts. But
Yeah.
like, it's not really a body thing. It always is like a mind thing. I need to like get through something.
But I mean, like, when on the come up, you don't feel that like.
Oh, I hate the come up. It's the come up on mushrooms is the worst thing in the entire.
But you like that's where I feel that in my torso.
Totally, yeah.
You know, like that's what I mean by physical. Is like
Last night we were at this concert and I took like probably like half a gram, nothing crazy, and the music was so loud, like my ears are still hurting. But while I was tripping, I was like, I felt like the people in my head were like, all hands on deck, don't have your eardrums burst. Like, they had that shit so much that, like, the speakers sounded like they were going to explode. I've been to a lot of fucking loud concerts, but it was too much. Would you agree, Ani?
It was like right in our ear, like the whole time. But when we moved, it was fine. But
while
I was gonna say, was it just your proximity to the speaker?
I mean,
yeah, but it was a small room.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, it was a small room. Like,
Yeah. Griselda is. Is that what you like the most rap you listen to? Is like Griselda? You listen to like trappier stuff at all?
I for sure listen to a bunch of trappier stuff. I love especially like 2015 through 2017, Young Thug.
Okay.
And like all that old like Slime Season 1 and 2.
Yeah,
And like,
dude.
like those were optimal for me. Like I love that era of trappy shit with ATL. Because what I think happened is a lot of those dudes started doing hallucinogens. So it wasn't just like booze and weed and promethazine anymore. It was like Molly and shrooms started to
Ecstasy,
affect how a lot of those like Mike Will made it, and like a lot of those producers and engineers, Wheezy and all those dudes, like you can hear the influence of mushrooms and kind of some like cooler, like ethereal sounds.
Because I love
like,
Drip
funky.
Season 4, Gunna's new
Yeah,
album.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was crazy. It's funny that you
Gunna's
say
dope.
that because, like, the Cat, shout out Cat from BSF. She was the last episode. Actually, I don't know how the order released, but watch that episode. It will be out first. She is like Benny's. She does all his merch. She's going to
you
direct
mentioned
the
that,
Bust a Brick Nick.
Yeah,
and
that
I
track
didn't.
is fire.
So fire. And I didn't even know this, but before that, she did the same thing for Young Thug.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and so she's telling me this, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
During that era too?
Yeah, literally, it was that era, and then she moved right into Benny right around Tana Talk 3. Like, and I was like, "Damn, you have a good, you know the trends."
Wow.
Like,
I mean, Barter 6 too. Like,
oh my, I still go back to that album.
like of the Thugger that I listen to, that is the most.
That's his best
sure.
out. You like Dolph?
Oh, I love Dolph.
When he died, that shit. Yeah, that shit.
Yeah, that's Wes' favorite rapper.
I know. I
Yeah.
got to see him. That was the last concert I went to before quarantine. So that was like the last
He's Dolph.
No
Like-
concerts are gonna be like pre-quarantine again. Like they are, but it's the whole world's different. Like, I don't know. Anyway. That was the last concert I went to. Was Dolph and Key Glock at the House of
that's
Blues in Boston, and that shit was like. I'm so happy I got to see him before he passed because that's one of my favorite rappers.
For sure, man. His energy was just incredible. He was just so wavy on everything. Like, he was just so smooth, you know? It's not... He was one of those dudes where... in battle rap, a dude like Head Ice would be like this, where it's not even necessarily what he's saying, it's how he's saying it.
100.
Like, he's just saying it so... And not that he didn't have some cool wordplay and dope bars and da-da-da, but, like... how he was saying everything was just so flavorful, and he's throwing so much, so much swagger on that shit.
And
it
then he
made
just
it 10
doesn't
times
care.
doper.
Like, I think rap, Chappelle's Block Party.
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle says, like, all rappers want to be comedians and comedians want to be rappers.
yeah.
It's just funny, but there is a similarity. And I think it's that, like, you have to pretend you don't give a fuck at all while giving the most fucks about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I like about Dolph is, like, it might seem like he's giving no fucks and just, like, saying whatever on the mic.
But any of those dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the whole persona is to be super nonchalant, right?
He's like Nick Swardson. If you just, like, Nick
But,
Swardson's
the
a brilliant fucking comedian, but if you just listen, it's like, oh, he's making a poop joke. Oh, he's making a fart joke.
But the reality of that hustle is, like mad people will talk shit about, like, Dane Cook or whatever back in the day. And be like, oh, he was... Like, bro, dude is a hammer. He was doing arenas full of people and murdering every single time and had hysterical specials. Like, say what you will, but the dude is an absolute monster. It's easy to talk shit about people who are at the highest level and are doing it like that. But if you get to that level, like even like a Hannah Gadsby or something, like not my cup of tea.
I thought that's first special. I never watched her second. I thought the first one was pretty good.
Dude, it's super powerful. I saw her do it live at the Soho Playhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Other than her going like, I'm retiring from comedy and then still doing it, and this is anti-comedy even though it's still like, other than all that I didn't like, but that was a great hour.
Yeah, it's ironic that
I like that Irish came in right when we talk about how great and I can't see it.
We're like, she's just so brave.
No, but it's ironic that you appreciate or you don't like that out of her, but like so many rappers do that, bro. How many times has Jay retired? Like,
yeah, dude, Conway announced his retirement on my podcast.
Yeah.
Like that's
shit,
the
man.
fucking
It's bananas. He sampled you on that track. I saw that in the IG Live, and I was like, "Shut up, shut up."
I bought the vinyl. Like I'm gonna be on the vinyl. Like I got the hoodie. I was like, I had to do it.
That's crazy. Yeah, my boy Max cops all the Griselda vinyl, everything. Like, and all the, like, any, like, Boldy vinyl, Alchemist vinyl. His collection is just insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
My hoodie collection's insane.
Oh, I see that, bro. Yeah, it's bananas.
The vinyl.
Yo, I saw the picture of Benny with the pillow.
I want to set the record straight on that picture because it went to the front page of the Griselda Reddit because people are like, look at this nerdy white dude with Benny, looks so unhappy.
Yeah.
That right before was when we were laughing, joking, like,
That's
and
so
then
funny.
he got shot in the fucking leg, like less than a year ago. And he just did a 2-hour meet and greet standing up. His leg was in so much pain. And he asked for that. I have a video of him asking for that pillow. People were like, he looked so happy to get the pillow.
You're like, yo, what?
He asked for that shit.
Yeah, no, it's
no,
just,
that's so funny. Like, you
it's
also can't
hysterical,
look
too.
hard.
Yeah, well, that's the
holding
thing too.
a
Is that like every time you do a podcast, it's some dude just like
like
ice grilling, and then you're like, "Welcome to Bucked Up," like just like cheesing, bro.
And I
looking
just
so
fell
happy.
into this, bro. Like, I didn't even think about interviewing rappers when I started this podcast. When I was in their like tiny little like attic space doing it in Boston, I was just talking to comedians, like how we're talking about comedy, about like getting too high and losing the conversation, talking about comedy, and then I was like, I'm gonna start DMing producers. Like, I didn't have a guest 1 week, and the only guests that could come on are comedian. If you're in a Boston scene, every Boston comedian's done every other Boston comedian's podcast.
For sure.
So you're not gonna get views just having people that are on every other's podcast on. So I was like, let me just DM this producer, Freshman Woes, that I like. He had worked with like Blue and Homeboy Sandman
Blue,
and
bro.
like
Blue and
Little
Exile.
Brothers. So good. And I had more followers than him at that point. So I was like, let me just DM him and maybe he'll come on the podcast. And he said, yeah. And I love talking about music.
That's
and
crazy.
like, then I was like, let me DM this. And then Hologram, Big Mont was number 2. And then Hologram was the 3rd rapper I had on my podcast. And Hologram announced a DJ Muggs album on my podcast.
What?
His debut album. That's Mayhem Lauren's brother.
Yeah.
And it's the only interview he has out and shit. And
That's
it's such a
bro.
bad
That's
interview.
what I mean. You're getting such slick little niche things. Though.
Yeah.
You got Conway announcing his retirement. You got that dude's only interview.
And it's such a bad interview, but it was like such a cool like moment.
Yeah,
you know,
why
you
not?
just
That was Vinny Paz's original MC name. Icon the Verbal Hologram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he used to go by, bro.
I need to listen to Vinny Paz. You know how many people like say he's like so inspiring. I just never really listened to his stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, he just did an album with Tragedy Gaddafi that is dope. It's got some heat on it for sure. Not just, but I think like 2 years ago or something.
Okay.
I mean, he's definitely, and then some of the old Stoop, the Enemy of Mankind or whatever, like there were some bangers back in the day they did with Outer Space. All those dudes were just in a little, like they just had a rhythm. Around 2003 to 2006, they were putting out crack, bro. Like such fire. Cool ass production.
That's not what I was listening to. I was listening to the more Atlanta stuff, and then I got into Grizzly. I remember I heard Conway in 2015.
So you started with trappier southern shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who were like your first? Who did you like first listen to obsessively?
When I was
when
I was like 4 years old, my dad would play me Kanye West and Ice Cube. So like those were the first 2 artists I got obsessed with. Like I could rap their albums when I was like at 4. Like I like those were my like favorites, and then like Lil Wayne.
Wayne's in my top 5.
Wayne's so good. And then, like, shit. It was like them. And then Drake before he got big, and Future.
Bro, Drake before he got big was doing shit with Slum Village. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
And, like, Ninth Wonder was producing beats for him. Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's so abstract to most people. Like, you tell that to a hip-hop head, and they're like, huh?
I love that shit. Like, I wish more. One of my dreams is like, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say whatever. I'm gonna say it. Like I was just talking to Kat, and I was like, Danny loves you guys, and she's like, really? Like, why don't you put us in contact? And I'm like, I will. Like, shit. If I can be the reason that Benny and Danny do a track together, like, I
That would
want
be
more
so
people. I
crazy.
love when people get out. Like, dude, Babyface Ray on the Alchemist and Currencies album. Like, I love that type of shit. Or Future when he was on Burner's new album. Like, I don't know. I love that type of shit. But I like weird shit. Like, Danny, honestly, is one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Oh, for sure. Well,
Like,
that's crazy, bro. That's so insane that you got to chill with him for Thanksgiving, bro.
and fucking Hannibal was in the room. Like, but it's like, that doesn't equate to anything in my, like, career, you know? Like, it's like,
I mean,
it's
it
still
doesn't
cool.
have to.
No,
It's
no,
just
totally.
dope. Yeah,
It
bro.
is
It's
totally.
just a dope experience, man.
Crazy experience.
The more interesting experiences you accrue, like the more things you go through, the better your life is going to be. The more multifaceted and interesting you're going to be, the better on stage you'll be, you know? Like,
yeah.
People will be like, what do I do to write? Like, I need to write more. Like, how do I? And I'm just like, dude, go, like, just
Live
be.
life,
go.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Go do something you like.
And
to
that's
do,
what we're
bro.
talking about, like, going up there and be like, hi, my name is, it's like, no, just go live a life. Like, Joey Diaz, like, that shit's one of my favorites.
Cocksucker.
You are very good with voices, and now I understand you do, like, voice work and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That It makes sense.
I've been doing that since I was tiny, bro.
I can't do any accents.
Zero?
Maybe
Can't do Brad
Southern.
Pierce?
I can't do any accent. My voice is just like my voice.
Damn, bro. Not a one?
Not a one.
Not a one.
Not a one. Can you, like, mimic people's voices pretty well?
Yeah. Like, I could do a bunch of comedians that nobody know. Like, perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
Every time people on the camera see me stare off, just know I'm high and I'm worried about the tinnitus I have in my ear from that podcast yesterday. I still have fucking ringing in my ears, bro.
That's crazy.
I hate that shit.
And you were on booms, too, when that was happening?
Yeah.
My ear is hurting for you, bro.
I
I'm
know.
Like, ah.
But you know then when you get too high and you overfixate on this shit,
sure.
like, oh my God. Being injured and tripping on mushrooms, that's not one. But, like, I've done them when I'm in an injury is the worst idea you can do.
My boy ate like an eighth of mushrooms and was running down his stairs, and they were carpeted stairs, and he had socks on. He's running down the stairs and just goes, zoom, pop, and just smacks his head on, like, you know, where, like, the stair, like, the other staircase comes down or whatever, like, just the little sill goes whap, and then, like, boom, 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 down the rest of the stairs, and needs to get his shit stitched, like, needs like 6 stitches across his cranium.
Look at fucking Irish's head. That happened last night.
What happened?
You cut your head.
You got an egg on your head, bro?
He cut his head. He cut his head while fucking trying to move my laptop.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something tough.
Oh no! Oh my God! I hate to out my friend, but I haven't told this. My friend and I were like tripping on Cape Cod in the woods, and he had smoked a cigarette beforehand, and like he like wanted to quit. And while he was tripping, he was like, "If I cry hard enough, I'll get this out of my system."
God,
So we're like in the woods, and he's just sobbing, like trying to get the like nicotine out of his system. And so I'm like, yo, this is a lot right now. So I don't know why. I'm like, I'm gonna start doing push-ups. So I'm doing push-ups, and he's sobbing, and just a mother and daughter walk by, bro.
And they just start crying. And
They just run away.
Why
Just
are we
like
doing
the
that?
weirdest sexual. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? What weird sex
Why
thing
is that large
happening?
man boy doing push-ups?
And
That
the
was
other
what-
one's sobbing.
I was like, I can finally do push-ups.
That's so wild. Just cry out the nicotine. I wish you could do that
Cry
with
out.
lots of things, bro. If I could cry shit out. Phew.
You can't cry?
But no, I cry like 3 times a day. Son.
3
Come on, bro. You know what it
That's
is.
a little too much.
Nah, like
You might
3
have
to
a
5,
problem.
bro.
You might have a problem.
Might have elevated estrogen levels at a particular juncture.
You're like Meatloaf.
Nah, but like if you could just cry out like whatever is plaguing you, you're like, damn man, I'm so angry. I just need to fucking cry.
Oh, you can, yeah. I feel like you can do that.
You
If you're angry
said that
enough,
with such intensity. You're like, I feel like you can do that because I do that.
we'll put on some Griselda music, get intense.
Yeah, man. Well, it's funny. My one boy gets tight whenever I would have, like, after a show, I listen to nothing but Griselda and, like, old Mobb Deep and early Wu-Tang and Only Built for Cuban Links and like all that shit. Because I feel like when I just killed, I want killer music. Like I want that just like.
What do you listen to when you bomb?
That, like, when I bomb, bro, I listen to like the Smiths. You know what I'm saying? Just
Ani
Morrissey.
DeFranco.
Yeah.
You know who Ani DeFranco is?
You're the white girl with the dreads, bro.
Yeah, okay, so you know, not a lot of, you know who Ani DeFranco is, Irish? All right, people don't know this.
I listen to Tracy Chapman when I bomb,
okay.
bro. Just fast cars.
Big lesbian energy.
On repeat,
I brought a girl. I have like a thing for lesbians. I don't know why,
so
but
hot
like,
because they like don't want me, but they do.
yeah, it is weird when you describe it like that. But I brought a girl on a first date to a fucking Ani DeFranco concert. How did I not know she was a lesbian?
Did she also have white girl dreads?
No. My mom told me that her type in college was white dudes with dreadlocks. How disgusting is that? Isn't that the worst?
Did your pops have them?
No.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
Bro.
But that's literally the worst thing she could have said.
Yeah. Close. Unless you're like, it bugs me out when you meet a white dude actually from the Caribbean.
Oh,
and has a
have you seen that dude M.R?
No.
That rapper?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna play it, and it's because it's not through the speakers. I hope I don't get pulled off, but I have to show it to you because it's the best thing ever. Everyone listening, Google M.R freestyle. Just watch like. People can kind of hear.
Tim Westwood.
This is a white guy. This is a fully white guy, everyone.
Yo.
All right, I don't want to get pulled, but now everyone Google
kinda
M.
nice though, bro.
No, he's fire,
Yeah, bro.
but he's a full-out white dude, rapping spitting like a crazy Jamaican.
Yo, I'm having the biggest brain fart in the history of existence right now. That's why I've been racking my brain. Who's the white dude from the Bahamas?
Collie Buds.
Yeah, finally the herbs come around. That dude, man.
He has some bangers.
Yeah, bro. I'm blind to you. Haters. But that dude is a bald white dude, and I didn't know that for the first 4 years I listened to him. And then I saw him, and I was like, it's impossible.
Yeah, he always does those cruise shows in Boston. You know those shows where you're like, it's like the Dancing with Stars of shows. You're like, your career's over
Bro,
when you're doing
Anthony
those.
DeVito has a joke about Shaggy. Shaggy talking on stage about and it's the funniest.
Shaggy's
shit ever,
the
bro.
worst concert. I tweeted at Shaggy, "You're the worst concert I've ever been to in my life." I saw him he was part of a bigger lineup, but it was for real the worst performance I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, you also see Shaggy will be like at Ibrahim's bar mitzvah on Route 22 at the Arrowhead Event Center, and you're like, Shaggy?
I want to know how you feel about this. Irish, can you explain your point of people, how you felt about rappers rapping their lyrics yesterday?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been to concerts my whole life and shit, but not a ton of rap concerts. I'd probably say maybe that was second or third one I've ever been to, and I couldn't for the life of me understand, A, why their vocal stays in the track, and B, why they aren't rapping every single word. I get from a concert perspective, you get to a chorus or something and you're like, hey, and then the crowd does a line or two, but I mean, one song, I mean, the guy would maybe rap 50% of the song. It was he was if I closed my eyes, it was just a hype man was on stage.
Yeah. That clearly you haven't been to rap concerts.
That's
before.
what I would say. Rappers don't rap their lyrics.
That's psychotic to me.
Bro, I love...
And they don't have a band either.
I love the Far Side. You know what I mean? I grew up listening to the Far Side a ton. Incredible rappers and musicians creatively out there. The production was dope. They used to fuck with Jay Dilla, bro. He did mad beats for them. Fat Lip was one of my favorites. Terrible live. Terrible, bro. Terrible. Like offbeat. Again, rapping, not even 50% of the lyrics would be dope. They were rapping like 30% of the lyrics, bro. Like they would occasionally chime in.
You ever
It'd
seen
be like
Griselda
running.
perform?
Nah.
They
never
rap
seen them live.
100%.
That's fire. All of them?
Yeah.
All of them are diligent about that? Spitting every word?
No
That's
backtracks
crazy.
at all. Yeah.
That's crazy. Method Man was sensational live, bro. I've seen Wu-Tang like a dozen times, right? And Method is always sharp.
Yeah.
Like always, like he's like crowd surfing and doing backflips, and he's super theatrical and just like
Yeah.
METHOD, man. Like just bouncing around, bro. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I
live.
love the worst performance actually turned out being the best because I respect it so much. You ever hear of a rapper Hood Rich Pablo Juan? He was big in
feel
like
like that's like a- on
2017.
Dat Piff, yeah, like-
2016 to 2018,
DatPiff.com,
like
work for me.
Atlanta scene. He came out on stage and for 20 minutes drank from a bottle of promethazine and counted the money they paid him for the show. Didn't rap 1% of his bars. And I was like, I respect that at the end of the day.
I
And,
saw
like,
Adele, Adele the Funky Homo Sapien. And
oh, I
man,
thought you meant you saw Adele.
I saw Adele. And she looks great, by the way. No, I saw Adele, the Funky Homo Sapien. You know him?
Yeah.
That's Ice Cube's cousin.
I actually did know that.
And
yeah,
he actually
yeah.
ghost wrote a lot of the shit off Predator.
Oh,
back in the
really?
day.
I didn't know
he
that.
ghost wrote,
That's
like,
my
a fair amount of
favorite
stuff.
Ice Cube album.
Yeah, me too. But Dell came out and literally came out on a Razor scooter and just like pushed onto the stage mad lackadaisically and then kind of like looped around a little bit and then he sat down and he pulled out a Game Boy Advance. That's how long ago this was. But yeah, like pulls out a Game Boy and just sits there and just starts playing Game Boy forever. Like for like 20, 25 minutes. And finally a dude comes up with like a headset on, you know what I mean? He taps him and he's like, Dell, you got to start the show. And he's like, all right. He gets up, scoots off stage, another 10 minutes go by, and then he pulls out and ripped it. He was great too. Like he rapped every lyric, and his shit is very, verbose. He's saying a lot. He's doing like a lot of, not double time, but just like it's mad multi-syllabic, like dense bar structure. You got to say a lot of words. And he was dope. He was super fun live. But yeah, rap in general is...
They don't rap the word. This live. It's not
it's
a
rough
lot.
live,
Yeah,
bro. It's not.
if you can see Griselda live, it sucks that you can't go to the New York show. That you're booked for the
Yeah, I'm that would be
because it's all
beautiful, man.
three of them.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
It is
That's
crazy.
so
Yeah.
crazy. How many times have you seen them live?
Fuck. Now,
Yeah.
like all of them together, 2 or 3. But like now, like I just saw Conway in the past couple months, like 3 or 4 times. Like
That's
I'll just pull
bananas.
up to a show.
That's bananas.
It is crazy. Like
Yeah.
that they. It's wild
From
that
a
they.
king to a god, like that for me was when I was like, oh word. Like I always knew he was crazy nice, but that was such a complete album, and like he murdered the primo beats on there. Like everything was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
it was-
thought God Don't Make Mistakes was amazing.
Well, I love the Everybody is Food series, all that too.
All
Like
that, yeah.
he's been dope for a minute, but it was always on some more just like wow, like his bars are crazy and he's super violent and dark and raw and it's just like real, but like really making songs. You know what I mean? Like really like beautiful hooks and just kind of like a whole album as one piece. For me, from a king to a god, that was the first time he like really did that.
I feel that. I thought
It was phenomenal.
God Don't Make Mistakes, I felt was like a perfect. The songs, like the way he ended it with his mom speaking,
Yeah.
like it was because West is known for making the like albums.
Yeah.
Like a West album is
Bro,
like
I thought that double to Hitler Wears Hermes, yo, like insane,
crazy,
insane. And I almost like the side B a little bit more. Not even like it's hard to say that, but I was so hyped when it dropped, and it was just more of the same flavor and production value, and all the features are incredible.
Because like side A is
everybody-
like a more like put together piece, and side B is like more like wild. Like I
it's
love
just-
that the
it's
J
out
Electron,
there.
the And I'm excited for all the new Griselda releases, like Stove God, Rome Street, Jay Worthy.
Stove God is so dope.
I saw him at Khan's birthday, and
voice
I'm
is
all
so crazy.
nervous to go up to him.
Back.
Yeah, because I don't know, I was nervous to go up to him. He's
Yeah.
like pretty short, and I'm like, your album and a DMT trip changed my life. And he just started laughing, and he tapped me up. I was like,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's cool. I'm just a big fan of Griselda. Like, I said this
for
on the
sure.
last podcast, but like, and I've been saying it a lot, but it's funny, the Con track with whatever, like, like to have Wes walk up to me and go, hey, Sam. Like, him walk up to me and go, hey, Sam, I fuck with what you're doing. Like, I had, like, an ex tell me I was too autistic about Griselda. Like, I was too obsessed with them.
Yeah.
So it's like...
That's crazy.
And you're like, who's autistic now?
I'm like, I'm a comedian. You chose this. You didn't think of this already?
Yeah, comedy is just an expose on autism.
Yeah. When? Yes, it is. Sure. When is your? Do you have like plans for your album to drop?
Right now, I gotta get my man who was gonna engineer the entire thing and whatever. He had some personal shit to deal with and fell off the map for a minute. But Jimmy, our boy Jimmy, our mutual friend,
shout out Jimmy James Luciano.
Yeah, good old little Jimmy boy, little Jimmy Lucky.
That
Luch.
dirty gabagool.
Yeah, fucking gobble, monster.
Yeah, man. He's a piece of shit, but
you can
good
say
kid.
stuff about his Italian side on camera, not his Jewish side.
Wait, he's one of those?
That's great, bro. He got mad free pizza at Wise Guys on the West End because they saw his last name.
And he was like, I'm related to Lucky, like just facetiously, bro. Like he did that shit just as a joke, and then the
He
dude
gave
pulled
him-
up and was like, "Here's 3 free pies on the house. Tell your uncle's uncle." I said,
and he was like, "Yo, what is wrong with you people, bro? What is wrong with
That's
you?"
so funny.
Yeah, it's so great. And now he pulls up and he's just like, "Like how we doing?" Like they think he's connected. Yeah, but no, he's gonna help
You
me.
can't have a more mobster name than Jimmy James
Jimmy
Luciano.
James. Yeah. Jimmy the Knuckle.
Jimmy the Nut. Is that because he's bald?
Jimmy the Toe.
Jimmy. He was gonna cut us talking nice about him, and then it just goes way too long of us making fun of
Yeah,
him.
just eviscerating him.
Go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. He's a great guy.
Such a good kid. But yeah, he's
Funny-ass
gonna help me with
comedian.
that shit. Well, no, man, he's dope. He's a very funny kid. He's a very funny kid. Man. He's solid. But he does teeter totter with quitting comedy. Do you have homies who do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But like, it's like sobriety. You got to make the choice for yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was like, "Bro, I'm never doing it again." And he's like, "Bro, I showed up to do this show and they bumped me." And I was like,
Oh, well, somebody's back on a sauce, are they?
like, it's like
Yeah.
you relapse,
I
bro.
feel but he makes music too. I think like
Yeah. He's so funny situationally. Like that kid's just a goofball. Some people, that's the thing. Mad people get into comedy because they're just like funny as hell in real life, and everyone has told them that forever.
yeah, I'm not funny in real life.
I've noticed.
If you, I was gonna say if you have told by this podcast.
Nah, man. But some people, it's that. But like, funny as hell in real life does not translate. And then I know people who murder on stage and are just bland as fuck. And you're like, dude, what? Like, you just did all that on stage. And I'm sure I'm that dude sometimes, honestly. Like, sometimes if I'm mad, tired, or burnt, people will tell me. I've had girls tell me that, be like, wow, like, you're so, like, expressive on stage. And, like, you got so much personality. And you're, like, very, like, reserved. You're, like, very quiet. And I'm like, well, yo, I mean, maybe I'm just spent, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's an act up, though.
especially if I did like 20 plus on stage, and I do a bunch of act outs, and it's just high energy shit. So you're like, yeah, I'm just chilling. Like I'm
chill,
not.
yeah.
That's me performing. That's not how I'm gonna be. If I was that on all the time, I would jump off a fucking bridge, bro.
I
Like,
think about
no
this
way.
thing. I hope. I was thinking after the Danny Brown show on Thanksgiving, we go back to his house, and this chick is like, "Let's play some music," and then she starts playing it from her phone, and like we're in a house party, like, and
Oh no.
and Danny's like, "We just did music. Do you think we want to hear music now? Like, we just did that. This is chill time. And I feel that with comedy. It's like, if I was just on stage, like, I kind of want to relax right now.
Yeah. Well, but it's funny because if you're chilling with your boys, like if you're kicking it with other comics, that's actually when you're probably twice as funny because you're already like, if you did well, you're already like good energy. You're relieved that the set went well. You've gotten paid. You're getting some food in you, and you're chilling with people that you love and know very well, and like have a good rapport with to begin with. That's when the funniest shit happens, like the hang afterwards. But if it's someone who just watched you perform and they're still like, all right, like be on, you know, like do your funny thing, and you're like, yo. Nah, like I don't eat a dick. Like let me just eat my food and exist. Like that'll happen naturally, but people expect you to be sharp all the time. It's crazy. You can't be.
And unless stoned all the time.
Unless you're doing all the cocaine.
You ever done cocaine?
I used to be a fucking terrible cokehead. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Never did it in my life. Damn.
Good boy.
How long have you?
Don't do that shit, man.
Everyone who's done coke is like never do it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think. Enough people have told me I don't think I will.
Yeah, but enough people tell you everything, right?
That is true.
People are like, don't eat terrible food, don't smoke cigarettes, don't have unprotected sex with girls. All those things are going to happen.
That is true.
You know? They're all going to happen, bro. So it's just good to be aware of it.
No, but yeah, no, I
especially, I won't say his name on air, but I'll tell you afterwards. But like, I had a really dope rapper that I've been listening to since I was a little kid. I was like 6 months off of blow. Just hold up a switchblade with some fucking perico on it, bro. Like some just beautiful fucking fish scale, bro. Some Arthur Miller Death of a Scalesman. Just fucking like right up to he was like, yo. And I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
No, you gotta be strong.
And then I just what am I supposed to do with like this dude I emulate? Just be like, oh, I'm all set, fella.
Yes.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Yes, you do.
No, bro.
I don't smoke blunts anymore. Benny handed me a butcher's breath blunt, and I said no to that shit. Different than cocaine. But
yeah.
I want to know.
Still super
can you say what this
bro.
rapper's name rhymes with? I'm just Cluster Bimes.
If I was like, re-rod the mump bod.
Man, thank you for coming on.
Oh,
I'm
course,
happy
man.
we finally got to
bro.
like do this because I've heard
man,
about you so
likewise,
much,
bro.
and like not many comedians know Griselda. So if there's a Griselda fan,
Big BSF, big Griselda.
He
Huge Griselda head, bro.
And we got to go to a concert sometime.
Yeah, man. I would
you're
love
not
to.
booked for
and
a
I can't
show.
believe you're going to do comedy with those dudes, bro.
You should come out for that.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when it is.
Bro. I
yeah,
would love
100%.
to. That would be fire.
Yeah.
That would be fire.
Dope. Oh, I want to ask you a question off air about it. It's another thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug your shit?
Yeah, man. Tait Winston on Instagram. Tait. It's like taint minus the N. Winston like Churchill. All just one word. It's the same thing on other social media platforms. TaitWinston.com. I'm going to be at Punchline in Philadelphia on April 7th. And I'm going to be at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia on the 29th. And then I got a bunch of other dates right here in New York City and Atlantic City. All that.
Philly is a
good
great
at me go on my
comedy
website.
scene.
Yeah, it's dope. Philly's fire.
I'm doing a show down there.
Let's go.
All right. Peace out, everyone.